Hey guys, it's Krista here with Blooms and Brushstrokes, and today I wanted to get on here and I was thinking about all the videos that I've done so far, and I kind of just dove deep into it like right away. So I thought, you know what, today I'm going to do just something really easy, simple. Let's paint a lily. And the reason I'm on the lily is because in my last video I drew an amaryllis. And just as an example of how I easily draw flowers. And so I was kind of like, oh, those are so pretty, but it reminds me too much of Christmas. And in my head, I'm like way past Christmas. So I'm not doing that, but I was like, let's paint a lily. We'll keep it pretty basic and simple, and just something fun that we can sit down and just have a good time doing and it not be too complex. And let's just, get into it and feel it out. So we're going to start off. I'm going to show you guys how to draw that number one first and foremost, and then we will get into all the painting. So I want you guys to get all your supplies together, your paper. I'm still using this Canson book. It seems to work out good. I like the size of it for these tutorials for now. Eventually we'll move into bigger, but for now we're going to do that. And then I've got my Mungyo Paints, my pencil, my eraser. I'm going to get some water, paper towel, your masking tape, your brushes, and your ink. Whatever ink you have, if you have, and you don't need to use ink if you don't want to, that's totally fine. But yeah, so we're going to get to it. We're going to get on with a lily. And you know what the cool thing is about this? It's like if you can do whatever color you want. So you don't have to follow the color that colors I'm going to use. You can do whatever you want. And I have no idea what color I'm going to use yet because I need something that's going to be beautiful and fabulous. So, okay. Let's get to it. We're going to draw it out very first, then we'll tape her down, get her wet, and all that good stuff. So let's get drawing, and then we'll get on to all the other good stuff. Okay, so we're going to start with a circle like so, and we're going to leave a little space. We're going to do it closer to the top of the page because we're going to put a stem on there. And then we want this lily to look like it's opening up a bit. So we're going to put our circle a little off to the bottom and off center. So a lily has I think 6 petals to be anatomically correct. And so we're going to start here at the bottom once we've got our circle and our circle. Now we are going to go past this outline, but it's just going to be, again, like our guiding line. So we're going to start with this one down here. So this is the one that's going to be looking like it's closest to us. So we're going to be like, come out, and it's going to be more wide. And we're going to come down. And we're going to have it curl under a little bit, because that's what it's going to be like. So we can erase that line out of the middle right away. And then we're going to go number 2, and we're going to go pretty big. Number 2 there. And then number 3, we're going to go over here. Oh, that's wonky. What the heck did I do there? I think that looks good. Yeah, that'll be good. So that's our number 3. Number 4 is going to come down towards us again. So we're going pretty wide, but it's going to come out from behind. And we're going to have that one come like that as well. Get rid of those lines. So we're going to come around, and then it's going to look like it just curls underneath a bit. So you can see that, but it just looks like these are nice and wide, and they're close to us. And then we're going to have one more come up this side here. We can get rid of this line now. And now you see I didn't make it have that tip because it's going to look like it's just, oh gosh, that's weird. It looks like it's just, gosh, how's that weird? It looks just like it's curling under. And then we'll be able to see that little kind of, we can see that just coming around on that bottom side there. So it just looks like it's curling under as opposed to it being straight out. So it's going to look, and then we're going to do this one here, pretty big. Is that too big? Maybe a little bit too wide to look. Kind of looks a little bit silly. Let's see. Yep, that looks much better. So yeah, so it kind of looks like it, so far as we draw it, it looks like it's kind of opening up going that way. Hopefully you guys can see that. Yep, I think that's pretty good. Okay, so now you can get rid of all those extra lines in there, you guys. And we're just gonna stick with the one flower for today. Eventually we'll do more and we will get more elaborate, but for now we're sticking with the one flower. We're gonna say like the stem, because it's kind of opening up a little bit that way. We're gonna shoot the stem kind of between these. And the lily stem it has some girth to it, we'll say. And then we can do, you know, a couple leaves coming off. And we'll just have this leaf kind of, no, not that way. Wrong direction. There we go. We can do that. If you want to have a second leaf kind of come up the back, do her up. That's fine. So we have our lily there, and lily leaves, well, they're kind of long. So we don't want these to be too short. Okay, that looks really, really good to me. I think that's perfect. Now, if we want to add a little extra detail into those petals, we can have it so, okay, well, we want that kind of curving over there. The petal kind of curling in. And then, oh, okay, let's do this one here. Yep, that one's curling in. And how about this side here? This one's going to be wide open. We can have it curl up a little bit under that one there. This one's going to be wide open too. Maybe a tiny little bit curling in there. And then these are the lines that go up the center. Okay. So then the lily has the oh my gosh, you guys, I don't know why I can never think of these words right now. Are they called like stamen? Like they're, it's what has the pollen on it. Oh gosh, the anatomy of a flower is just drawing. Like anytime I go to do these videos, I can't think straight. So all I'm thinking about is painting. So anyways, we got those coming up the middle center there. Perfect. So that is our simple drawing of our lily to get us, going. So I think that's going to do it for that. Now we can tape down our page. I gotta make sure we're taping it down in the center here. Perfect. So we're going to tape this down. That doesn't have to be totally perfect. As I've said many, many times, you guys, we're just, okay, I gotta make sure that's in there good. We don't have to make sure it's perfect. Don't stress about these things, you guys. We're just having fun. And if you worry about these little details too much, then you're gonna miss it. You're missing the whole point. I think that's going to be really pretty. So hopefully that flower description works out good for you guys. If you have any questions, definitely pop them in the question section. And while or in the comment section, I should say. And while I'm saying that as well, if you guys haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and then you won't miss out on any of our fun videos that we're going to do. I've already done a few. This channel's relatively new to me yet, but I've had a really amazing group of people that already follow me and that are really engaged in the channel. So that makes it really awesome. You guys have made it tons of fun for me. So definitely hit subscribe as well if you haven't done that already. And yeah, we'll get on with the whole painting of this now, you guys. So I'm just going to get my water set up. I'm not set up at all. First things first. We're going to give our paper a wash. Again, that's just, we're going to go with clear water. We're going to give it a wash, and that's just going to kind of stretch it out a bit so that it doesn't bubble on us when we're doing the painting. And then this will hold it down. So it stretches it out a bit. I mean, it's not perfect. We do still get the odd bubble in the paper, but that's no big deal. So just get everything wet to start with. and then let that totally dry. And if you have a blow dryer, you can use a blow dryer to dry it quicker. And if you don't, I don't think mine's here. I think I brought it home, but then I took it back to work. Anyways, I'm gonna let this dry and then we'll reconvene once it is all dry and we're ready to go. All right, friends, it's dry enough for what we need to paint here. So I haven't totally decided what color to do. I just did a short that was like a purple flower. I've done some light pink ones. Yellow, I did the sunflower. So what do you guys think? Should we go with like something that's a little bit brighter pink? Let's do that. Brighter pink. I think we've done a pink one too, but we'll go a little bit brighter in the color sections, or in the color. Okay, so first things first, we will activate our palette with water. So this is what I mean by that. I just go and give everything a good spray. I'm spraying it on top of my paper so you guys can see. Getting everything a little wet, whatever. Not too stressed, not too stressed. Never stressed, actually. Not about this. Okay, so let's think about the background. And this one we're gonna do a little bit of the background color. So we're gonna put down a little bit of water. You know, just kind of around and about. I'm always very drawn to like greens and whatever background color, but I think I'm gonna do maybe we will do a little teeny bit of something like a little bit more earthy, a little bit of a brown in there, but like a really light brown. So like super duper diluted. Yeah. And I don't want it everywhere. I just want to have like a little bit of it around. Just a tiny little bit. Just so the page isn't stark white. But you know, we don't want it to be overpowering or anything like that. My little paper here. So I'm gonna let that dry up while we think about exactly. I'm gonna just take a little bit of this water off because it's pretty heavy in the water department. So yeah, so if you have too much water, and you can tell it's just like bubbles, like, or just like puddles of water, just go around and just pick it up. That's not a big deal. And it'll also remove some of that pigment if you don't want it to be too brown. So that's perfect. And then it'll dry a little bit faster too, but we don't really care too much about that. So I think I am gonna go in something a little bit bright and just for fun. I like to do bright pictures, and then I like to do ones that are a little less intense I like to keep it interesting, you know, because not everybody likes the ones that are just like pastel-y. Some people really love the bright colors. So first off, we're gonna start with painting our leaves. And the reason we're doing that is because they're kind of set back. So we're gonna start with those, and we're just gonna drop some water down. Let's use a bigger brush today. Okay, so we're gonna go in with a bigger brush, and we're just gonna drop water down there on both of our leaves. The cat's in the house. Okay, look at this though. It focuses on the painting and not my hand. Okay, cat. Love you. You were sleeping and now you know I'm painting, so you're into it. Okay. Of course he has to come visit us because it's paint time. And we're gonna drop water down on the other one as well. We'll start with those. Yeah, and you know what? You don't always have to like use the exact color of, like, you can go different than, you know, like if you want to paint something totally abstract, you can paint like different colors of everything. Different colored leaves, different colored all the things. You don't have to paint it exactly what color they are in nature. Okay, so we're just gonna use a very diluted kind of olivey green. We're just gonna dilute that quite a bit and we're gonna drop that down. And we're gonna put one entire layer of that green. And it doesn't need to be perfect, you guys. Just get her down there. Okay. So we've got that down. It can be out of the lines because again, that's like when we finish it up, it's gonna be, we're gonna do that with our micron ink. So while they're still wet, I'm actually gonna go in now and start adding a little bit of dimension by adding a couple different tones of color. Oh shoot, I gotta be talking about the colors I'm using. So here's the thing, you guys, I use a mix of everything. So I literally, for the first green that I put down, I mixed together what I had on my palette, and then I mixed in like the gray green and the olive and then a little bit of this deep green. So I kind of just mixed them all together. So that's why I say, like, when you're painting, you guys, I know you want your photos or your pictures to look exactly like mine, but I think that you got to get over that a little bit because that's what makes your painting individual. And I get it. You want it to, like, you love what I did and you want it to look like that, but you have to really just like focus on what paints you have in your paint palette because, okay, Bubby, because we don't have the same paint palettes, or maybe we do, but I just use like such a mix of color. Like, look at my green right now that I'm using. It's got a little bit of everything in it. So, you know, I can say a general idea of what color I'm dropping in there, but it's probably not, you know, it's not exactly just one color out of the palette. Okay, so I just want to really stress that too. Don't overthink the color, and whatever color you think is beautiful, use that. And then, yeah, you kind of have to be open-minded with that. So I'm just going in and dropping in a little bit of dimension with the color, just so that the leaves, or the leaves aren't just like one solid color, because, you know, light hits them different and whatever. They don't need to be one solid color of green. So I'm just trying to get them in there right now, and this is kind of speeding up the process a bit rather than letting it totally dry. This is kind of like the next step where we're going to get in there and we're going to just try to do the leaves almost all at once here. It won't, we will have to add another layer because, you know, we just want to add some dimension in there. So to get started off, but we will layer it up a bit, but this will help us in how many steps it takes. So I'm going to go in and drop in a bit brighter green. This one that I'm using now is going to be the green yellow. This is in the Mungyo set, by the way. I'm just going to drop a little bit of brightness in both of these. Okay, now we're going to let those totally dry. I'm picking up some color just from where the leaf flips over. That's okay. And we're gonna just let those totally dry. Now we can go down with a number 4. I'm gonna use the number 4. Oh yeah, so I was using the number 8. Number 12 for those, and yep. Now I'm gonna use the number 4 for the stem, and I'm gonna get it wet. Bring her all the way right down. I'm just gonna use what's on my palette, a mix of everything together, and drop down the first layer. All right, you guys, we've got that done. It's looking really good so far. Okay, so like lilies, I mean, lilies can be all one color. They can be, you know, they can have color where it's just in the centers of the petals. They can be a variety of different colors. They can kind of almost like fade into other colors. So I think we're gonna do a little bit of that. So we're gonna keep the center pretty white, and then we're gonna have brightness in the mids of the petals, And then we're gonna have brightness and then maybe fade into like, or not fade, blend into a different color. So we're not just gonna go straight on, but I think we're gonna use a pretty bright pink, you guys. So I am gonna go in with my bigger brush, this number 12 again, number 12 round, this Royal Lang nickel. I'm gonna go in with this one again. And we are gonna start now you might wanna let this totally dry before you start dragging your hand into it because that's gonna be a thing. But I'm gonna live dangerously here. And we're gonna start with this petal that's furthest away and in the back. So it's coming out from behind the other petals. So we're gonna drop water down there. And I'm gonna do the whole thing with water because we're gonna layer these bad boys up a bit. And we're gonna leave, and it doesn't need to be the whole thing. You can leave a little bit of dryness on the edges. That's totally fine. And I'm leaving, no, I'm gonna do this little fold in our first pass through. So I'm gonna go in with like this. Okay, so this one's called Opera. No, let's go cold pink. So it's cold pink is what it's called. It's on the edge here. I'm gonna use that one. And we're just gonna dilute it a lot for our first pass over. Yeah, I just brought it up on my tray here a bit. And I'm just diluting it. Yeah, it's a good color. So yeah, and I'm gonna leave the center pretty clear, but the paint is gonna travel down there anyways. So I'm gonna start actually by going in the center of this petal. And we're just gonna move the paint up. But not totally to the top because we want to give that look of light again, you guys. And then, yeah. So just like that, okay? Now, if you want to do the whole entire petal, go ahead. That's fine. There's no right or wrong. But that's what we're going to start with there on that one. Then we're going to work our way to this one here because it's also coming out from behind. And we are going to drop water down first over everything. We're doing one pass with a really diluted cold pink is what it's called, okay? And so we're gonna do really diluted there, and then we're gonna go in and we're gonna drop that down, starting in the center again. Like it will flow into the bottom, like into the center a bit. Like it'll naturally kind of flow down. So just start in the center and let the water work its magic and pull that color where it naturally kind of wants to flow to. If you feel it's too dark, you guys, get in there with your paintbrush cleaned off and some clear water and just take away a little bit of that pigment, okay? So hopefully that helps you out with that. Perfect. Now we can get on to our next one. That's also poking out from the backside. And drop down that water, you guys. If you want to leave anything white, so that'll show you guys there. I wanted to leave that end white to show that it's brighter on that end. So I just didn't bring paint up there. I mean, I could probably bring a little bit of the paint up. I don't need to leave it so white. But if you want to leave just nothing that has any color on it, or a piece that has no color at all, just don't put water on it. Okay, so we're again gonna go in. Really diluted cold pink. Dilute, dilute, dilute. Ooh, that's a lot of color. So I've got too much pigment there, so I just went and wet my brush. And then I'm just gonna move around that color that I already have in there. And I don't need to add any more to my brush because I've got plenty in there. That's looking so pretty already. I love it, you guys. Okay, I hope the audio is okay too because I have the microphone a little up, but I think it's a pretty good range. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry up. Are we gonna let that dry up? No, we're gonna get going on this actually. We're gonna move on over to this one over here and we're going to put water down first. It's okay if a little bit of the color bleeds. It's really diluted, so it's not going to make that much of a difference. Still sticking with the same color. I do have a little bit of red and stuff on my palette that it might be bleeding into a tiny little bit, but that's not intentional, and I'm trying to not have too much of that in there. So excellent. Okay, well, let's do this furthest one away. Dropping down water. Some more of that pink. That's pretty light. We can probably add a little bit more. So heavy, heavy, heavy on the water. There we go. Okay, and then we'll do our last one here. Oh, I got some brown in there. Nice. Not gonna worry about that too much. And we're still using the cold pink. We haven't switched anything up. All right. I think that looks really good so far. And in fact, like if you wanted to at this point, you could absolutely just go in and finish her off now with your pen and ink, and it would be totally fine. Like you could have it look absolutely amazing just like this. So you could end it there if you guys want. But I'm going to add a little bit more depth into this just because, but I'm not going to go crazy. I just want this to kind of be a really simple kind of some exercise that, you know, we can just do when we want to have a little bit of fun, relax, just a little bit of downtime. So we're going to use our cool pink again. I'm going to mix in with that. I am going to mix a little black into that. And I'm talking like a little bit just to bring it down. I'm going to show you guys. This is it mixed with a tiny little black. So just a dot of it, because this is without the black. You can see there. I don't know. Run to the red. Okay. We'll do it on here. Okay. Okay. Cool pink, no black. Cool pink, a little bit of black. Well, I gotta get a little bit more going on. And I'm talking a dot, and if it gets too dark, there. So it's just a little bit of a cooler, even cooler pink. Oopsie daisy, I bumped that. Okay, so we're gonna go in now and we're gonna put down, they're still a little bit wet, perfect. So we're going to put down a little bit of that cooler, even cooler pink with a little bit of the black in it. And I'm not going to add too much more water to the page because it's still a bit wet. Now this time I'm going to leave out the lips that are flipped over, like the little edges of the petal. We're just going to go into the center. And we're just going to, and it might bleed a little bit because they are still wet. And we're just going to put some color down in there. I'm going to get an almost clean brush and I'm just going to move that color a little bit more. And just have it blend down, just like that. So it's just gonna add a little bit more depth into that. And then we're gonna go over to this one here where we were. I put a little bit of water down because that one was a bit more dry than the original one, just whatever. So we're gonna go in there with this one. Again, leaving out those where the petal flips over. Like, okay, we wanna, whoa. Oh my gosh. My cat, when he wants to go outside, he grabs the leash and he wants to go outside. I take him outside on a leash. And it's like minus a gajillion outside today. And I've already let him put his nose out the door and he didn't want to go up there. Now he's grabbed the leash again like he wants to go outside, which I know he doesn't want to. He's just ripping around in the background. So if you guys can hear him, that's what he's up to. He's just having a party by himself. Because he thinks he wants to go outside, but he doesn't. It's too cold for him. He's an indoor cat for the most part. If he goes outside, he goes outside on a leash. So, okay. So again, you guys, we're just dropping some of that down in the center. And then we're going to move a little bit of that intense color kind of around with a wet brush, just straight wet. Right on? Okay. Now we're just going to carry on with the rest of our petals. If they're too dry, you can put a little bit of water down, or you can just, like I did in the first one, just drop this down And I'm just dragging it away. There's a hair there. Lovely. And we're just going to drag it away a bit. I'm going to dilute some of this down here. Great. Wow, buddy. That one's a bit dry, so we're going to go on there with a little bit of water. And again, just go in and paint a little bit more intensively with that color. Pick up some of that water that's pooling. We're still using that exact same... Wow, he is ripping back there. If you guys could see him, he's just like back and forth, back and forth. Got cool pink with that little bit of black in there, diluted. Okay. And they don't have to be exactly the same every petal. Like you may have one that's just got a bit more color in it. That's okay. Like this is just like, again, it's just, there's nothing, I just want to stress that there is nothing that is like totally, oh my word. Like doesn't need to be totally perfect. And that's what makes these paintings so beautiful. Okay, buddy, what? Oh. Who knows what he's up to? He's got a box that needs to go into recycling now. And a shoelace. Lovely. All right. So I'm actually not going to get carried away with the color on these ones. I'm going to go and grab my script pen or script paintbrush now. That's the number one script. It's the really skinny one because we're going to draw in those lines up the center. And we're going to use that dark, the same cold pink with the black mixed into it. And we're not going to dilute it as much. And we're going to just kind of go up the center where those lines are. We're going to put it in with right now. Sorry, you guys, I should take that box away. I'm like, oh, it's entertaining him, so he's not actually up in here in the video. Okay. So yeah, that looks pretty good. This one was a bit dry at the bottom, so I added a little extra water in there. But that looks pretty good with that. Yeah, and then lilies typically have like little dots in there, but we're gonna add those dots in when we, you know, when we splatter. I think we'll do that. So the only other thing I'm gonna do here is just like in the center part here, I'm just gonna put a little pink in there, maybe drop a little bit of darker pink in there, just to kind of give that look of that it's coming, that's the center. So I just added a little bit of pink in there. I'm gonna leave, just kind of curve it around that little line that we had there, just to give that look. I need a bit bigger brush. So I'm gonna go back to my number 4. Sorry, you guys, I might have missed it. So I'm just gonna drop some color down, and then I'm gonna pick it up just so we have the look. Because that is where everything is coming from. It, like if you looked at it, it would be darker down the center for sure. Okay, so I think that looks really good. Just to start with, like, I'm not gonna get crazy with the color because we always get crazy with the details. So now I'm gonna finish up the leaves a little bit. I'm just gonna go in with my number 4, and I'm gonna just get a bit of a darker green. So I'm gonna use that dark green color, and then yeah, I think I'm just, and maybe just a touch of black into it just to take away a little bit of that brightness, so that it's just a bit more dark. So wherever these petals or the leaves flip over is where there'll be a little bit of shadow. So we want to go on the inside of that and drop a bit darker of that green down. And of course we don't want it to look like so perfect like that. So I'm going to drop that green down, and then I'm going to go in, I'm going to dab it a bit, and then I'm just going to blend that out with my number 4 brush, just so it's not totally perfect, but it's going to give that look of that shadow there. Just like so. We could take a little bit of that and go on like maybe the underside, just to give that little look. But yeah, we just want to give that look of a little bit of a shadow. As you can see in these, it's going to look like there's shadow because of the darker color pink in the center of these, because we've left out these flips on these petals. So we're gonna do the same on this one here, and we're gonna go like this. Oh, that didn't end up very dark at all. Perfect. Like that. And then of course, okay, so this little piece here is in the background. That's going to be real dark because that is darkest part of it all. Because it's all going to be shadow because it's coming from behind. Again, we're not really doing like realism here, but you know, we like to kind of give that illusion a bit. All right. I just feel like this needs a little something in it. Yep, good enough. And there'll be a little bit of shadow coming from where the stem is there onto this one as well. So we'll just do that. We'll see all the details once we get them. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry. And then we want to do the stem. And we just wanna make sure that it's still a pretty bright green. We don't maybe need to mix it in with the black. And we just like wanna do one side of it, because then one side, we're gonna do the left-hand side, because then the other, oh shoot. Oh yeah, we're still good. Okay. Just because then there'll be a little shadow, looking like a little shadow. So we're going to come down here and just drop a little shadow. We can blend it out by getting a clean brush with a little bit of water on it. Perfect. And we can have a little bit darker up here as well, just because it'll be shadow from the flower. Okay, I think that looks pretty good, you guys. Something about the flower though just is like a little bit meh to me, and there's in my head I'm just thinking like, I don't know, the color orange seems to be presenting itself. Is that gonna get too crazy? That's the thing I do when I paint. I'm like, ooh, if a color pops into my head, I'm just gonna go for it. I think I am just gonna drop a little bit of orange. And I'm just going to do it. These are all pretty dry. So I'm going to use my number. Ooh, what do I want to use? Maybe I'm just going to use my number 4 round. And maybe just kind of go. Where do I want to put that? Shoot. I don't know. I kind of see like a little bit of orange in there. Like I just have this visual. I think I'm going to do maybe just like up the centers, a little bit of orange up there too. And I'm just going with, what my page is called, just straight orange, straight orange. I'm going to get my brush pretty diluted. I'm going to dilute the color because I don't want to go in there too strong. I just have this little hint. So then I'm just going to go up a side exactly where I went the center. And I'm just going to go up that same line with some of that orange. I don't know why it's calling me. I'm just doing it because that's what I'm feeling. Okay, let's go. They're pretty dry, so I want to go in there and just take out some of that intensity with a clean wet brush. Yeah, that's better. And I have no idea why that was speaking to me, but usually that's how I paint. I just follow exactly what is coming to me at the time. So I just felt like it was just too pink. I don't know, just too one color. But I just didn't want to do too much orange because I didn't want to ruin it either. So just a hint of that. is good. Maybe we can add the dots in there. Like maybe this, like splatters we can do in orange. Okay, so I am going to leave these, I guess maybe the ends of these, I think that's the, I don't know why I can't remember this, but I'm just going to paint the ends of these in the center orange. Just a dot of orange. Because that's where the pollen is. And we're just going to paint those orange. We're going to add the detail just with our micron pen, but we'll just paint those in there orange. And then, yeah, I honestly think I want to do the dots on the inside of here with the orange. I already got one orange dot going on. I think we're going to do like splatters of orange in there. So, I'm, you know what? I don't even feel like blowing on this one. I think we're just going to let her be. I think we're going to let that be. But I'm going to splatter orange in the center, like orange in the centers there, and kind of it'll go all over. But I want that. I want that. Oh, dear. Jeez Louise. So I am going to use my number 4 to do the splatters, I think. And I'm going to do them in this, just kind of in the center here. Because if you look at a lily, they always have those little dots in the petals. I'm going to use the same orange, and I'm going to really get it like lots of color, lots of water. Great, there's like probably dust from falling on my floor. Okay, lots of color, lots of water in that just straight orange. It's nice and bright. I think it's just going to add, so we're going to do the splatters of that. Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to take the number 1 script. And I'm going to do splatters of that orange again, but I just don't want them to be so heavy. And I'm going to go outside of the flower. Because you know me, I like that look. I don't know why, it's kind of random too, but I like it. And in the center, I want to do lots of these little ones, and we'll add more gold when we do that. So I'm going to add that number 1, and I'm going to just add lots of water and lots of orange, and then just really get quite a few in the center, okay? Ooh, I like that, you guys. And then I'll bring a few down, just lightly. And then we're going to add a few splatters here, and I think we're going to use like the line, the green yellow. We're going to use the green yellow, load it up. We're going to just use the number 1 script because we're going to keep the green kind of not as intense as that orange. I just like that that's kind of the focal. And we're just going to splatter some of that green at the bottom here. Oh, yeah. I love that already. It is pretty. Okay, and then we will do a little bit of that dark. Just a bit. We don't want to overdo it. Just a bit. Okay, so far so good, you guys. We are going to totally let that dry, and then we are going to go in with our gold metallic ink, and we're going to use that today. And we're going to finish this bad boy off, but once it's totally dry, so let this dry 100%. I think that looks good. If you wanted to blow anything right now, would be a good time. You could go in there and just like blow some of that orange around. I think that would be really pretty, or some of this green as well. But I'm just going to leave it at that. I think it's going to be beautiful the way that it is. So we're just going to leave it at that, let it totally dry 100%, and then we'll get in there and do all the fine details. Everything's pretty dry, almost totally dry. So we're going to start with our micron archival ink pen. We're using the number 1. And we're going to start in the middle with these. And you know what? They don't have to be totally straight. They don't have to be totally perfect. I think that's what makes my paintings a little bit fun, is that they aren't totally, not everything is exactly straight and perfect. So I use my lines as guides, but then I just get a little messy with it. So I'm going to start in the center here. And we're just going to draw in these. I wish I wasn't brain dead, but I'm in perimenopause, and so I'm going to blame everything on that. I can't think straight most of the time. Okay, so we got those in there. Sometimes I do 2 lines. I'm going to try this one with just 1 line of everything to start with. So we're going to start by doing our petals. So again, just kind of outlining, tracing around what you've done. And just flow with it. If your pen is starting to lose a little bit of ink, like it's not quite as good as it was to begin with, it happens. Like going over this paper over and over again, you'll probably go through pens pretty quickly. So don't be surprised by that. It's all part of it. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I mean, even just a little bit in there, just because. I like the look of it with one. Maybe I'll like it better with two. I'm not too sure. So I'm just going to leave it with one today because I always go over everything twice. I think, maybe I'll go over it twice. I think I like that better. And then we'll just do the leaves and the stem. Yeah, I think I do like the look of a couple going over it a couple times, but not super crazy and abstract. Just adds a little bit more dimension. So we're going to keep these lines all fairly close to one another, so we don't take away from like the delicateness of the petal. Oh, buddy, why are you always in the paint? Okay, oh, I do like that. Yeah. So we're going to go around and do two on our flower as well. Just because I think I like that better. Oh, I've missed some. I was like, why does this look so different? Well, because I've missed some of these little parts where the petals are flipping over. I was like, this just looks so basic. My cat, get out of there. He's into the water, and I've water all over the place with him because he loves his water. He loves water with anything in it. Okay. Awesome, you guys. I'm really loving how this is looking. What are you guys thinking? If you guys are loving this, please let me know. I think that would be super helpful. I do kind of just do whatever I want, but your guys' input definitely steers me. Oh yeah, that looks super pretty. Okay, so we're gonna go in and add like a little bit of detail now with our pen. So we can go in and kind of add that center line. For sure. Okay, bud, I don't know why you're into this. I need these still. He wants to drink the water. And I have a strong feeling that, you know, watercolor paint probably isn't the best for cats. Just a hunch. It's very diluted, so I'm sure he's not going to die, but, you know, he's always dipping his paw in it. It's like, that's probably not great for you, little gaffer. Now he's in my cup of water. Now it's like, dude, there is water all over. Okay. All right, you guys, I think that looks really pretty. I don't know if I want to go in there with the, like, I think it needs darker dots, but I think I'm going to do that with, well, I could do a few in the black and then add the rest with the gold. So we're just adding, like lilies, if you go look at any picture of a lily, they always have these dots. And we're not going to go too extreme with the black ones because we're going to do dots with the gold. But like a few, yes, let's go for it. I'm feeling it, so let's go for it. If you're not feeling it, don't go for it. If you think there's enough, then it's enough. And you just want to drop down there. I kind of muddled that one up. That's okay. Awesome. I do love how that looks, you guys. Okay, so I know I usually finish totally with this pen, but the last time, what did I do last paint? I don't know. Anyways, I want to go in with a little bit of the gold metallic ink now. Oh, this one's like dried up pretty much. Yeesh. Okay. I want to go in with the gold ink now. In the past, I've done the gold ink before we do the black. And the only reason I decided I wasn't going to go in with the gold ink at the end is because I think I'm just going to splatter it on. Or that was my original plan. But now I'm like, ooh, maybe I should add a few little detailed lines with the gold ink. So, you know, you can change your plan. You don't need to have a solid plan all the time. But okay, so we've got our Windsor Newton gold ink. And it's good. I should try to put this one, I don't know, into the other one. But anyway, so we're going to use our #1 script pen because that's our finest one that we have. There might be a finer one out there, but that's the finest one I have. And we're going to just go and do a little bit of highlighting with this gold ink, okay? So I don't want to do it too intensively and go over all the black that I put down. So we're just, okay, buddy, he's just into it. And I'm just probably going to stick with going up the center. Get out of the paint. He's literally on paint. Okay, you are... I think he's a little shocked that we're not at the farm because he always comes back and forth with me. And I'm home all day. He's like, wow, lady, you're home. Like, let's hang out all day. Like, I can't imagine what he gets up to when I'm not here. It's like, how does he entertain himself? Okay. I think that's good. And now I just didn't want to do anything too crazy. But, well, maybe a little bit more crazy. Just kind of all these little areas where the petals would flip over. I feel like you could have a little pizzazz in there. Okay, now I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna start with the middle of this and do lots of dot-like splatters in the middle and then work our way out. So I'm gonna load up my brush quite a bit, like dip it in there quite good and get lots of ink on it. And then we're gonna start big in the middle and lots in the middle. And then we're just gonna work our way out. So it's not, but like lots in the center. Somebody commented in one of my videos that they said, sometimes I think when you're doing it, it's going to be like way too much, and then you do it and it's not. And it's like, well, you just kind of have to live on the edge a little bit sometimes. Okay, so that, you guys, is going to do it for that painting. I love it. It's kind of fun. It's kind of exciting. I'm just going to sign my name in here somewhere. I'm just going to pop it in the bottom leaf here. I sign everything that I do. I don't know why, but I just do. I think if you're going to create art, you should. Okay, it's still really, really wet, but I'm going to take this off while we're all together here yet. And then once it's dry, well, I don't even need it to be dry. We're going to wrap up this video. So I hope you guys had fun doing this video with me. I hope that it was, you know, pretty basic and easy to understand and something that we can all do that doesn't feel too intimidating or too advanced or anything like that. Yeah, it's just kind of a fun little afternoon painting you can do and just enjoy working with the watercolors. It's really doing it like this and doing it loosely and stuff. It's a nice way to really understand how watercolor paint moves and how paint and pigment work together and how, you know, how the water, how much water you need and how little water you need and the dry on dry and the wet on wet and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. Okay. I always say, okay, friends. So you guys, that's how I always get back into my video. All right. So we are finished up our lily painting and I think it looks good. It's still drying. So I don't want to, I have a big glob in the middle, but that's it, folks. That's exactly what it looks like all finished up. It's really pretty, something like basic, but like goes a long way. Like it looks so good. I love the orange in there too. It just kind of gives it a little pop, that little extra pizzazz. So it's just something like some people wouldn't like that. And I wouldn't always paint that, but today I was just feeling it's like, it's bright and sunny, but it's very cold here. So I'm like, let's just add a little something, something in there. So, hopefully that gives you guys a really good tutorial to work with and have fun with and just, yeah, just enjoy the beauty of watercolor paint there. And if you guys like that video, again, please give me the thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, do hit the subscribe button because then you won't miss out on all the fun that we're going to have. I've been trying to have one video a week, but I usually throw in a short in there somewhere. And like it's not, I'm just going to have, when I feel like I'm going to create, I'm going to video it and put it on the internet. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But if I'm going to go and paint something, I'm going to put it out there. So there might be more than one a week. I think only videos though, like one a week, because it takes me a little while to edit. So I think one video a week and a short or whatever. And if it happens to be more, and maybe there might be a week where it's a little bit less, but that's the goal. So this week, you guys, we are doing this beautiful lily. And I hope you enjoyed it. If, and yeah, again, give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and please leave your comments, suggestions, questions, anything like that in the comment section, and I will reply to you guys. I've been pretty good so far. I haven't been inundated with lots of comments, like lots of comments, but not too many that I can't handle. So leave your comments and all that good stuff. And thank you guys so much for watching. We'll check you guys in the next video. So I let this totally dry and I realized it was really lacking some detail in the petals. So I went in with my micron pen and added a little bit of those lines in there just to give it a little more oomph in there. It just needed it for me. So I've just started on that. I'm going to add a few to the petals down here and, you know, just kind of finish up in there. But yeah, I was like, ooh, it needs a little something more. So I just wanted to get on there. Disclaimer, that's what's happening, folks. Started on